Alright, y'all, we are live on this beautiful Monday morning. Blessings to everybody in the name of the Messiah, Yeshua, Jesus. I do pray everybody is blessed in multiple ways, and we are going to be digging into this juicy Bitcoin price action. Well, maybe it's not so juicy, guys. As usual, y'all, if we can get 750 likes on the stream, we will be giving away 500 USDT. Also, guys, currently having a 25% Black Friday sale on both courses. If you go to learn.jasoncaspertrading.com and use the coupon code SBF, it stands for Super Black Friday sale. Also, guys, we still have the 0% limit fees going on for Bybit, where you can get 0% limit fees for 30 days. Link in the description. We'll be live momentarily, y'all. Alright, y'all, well, we are live on this beautiful Monday morning. Hope y'all are doing well. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to Robert Ortiz, who says Bitcoin is dumping along with Biden diapers. Very interesting. I'll have to look into that. Shout out to Ryan Newton, who says hit the likes, y'all. Yeah, y'all, hit the likes. Chicken's drinking chocolate milk. I guess that means a dump. Shout out to All Right, y'all. Shout out to Mega Art. Shout out to Aaron G, who says if you enjoy the content, please like the video and consider subscribing if you have not already. Shout out to Remy watching on Twitch. Yeah, guys, make sure to go subscribe to me on Twitch. If you lose your pump, you know it's gonna dump. That's so true. Alright, guys, alright. So, a few things. First of all, we are having a Black Friday sale on all courses if you use the coupon code SBF. And of course, SBF stands for Super Black Friday Sale. And you can get 25% off both courses. Also, guys, there's still, I think, until the end of November, an opportunity to sign up on Bybit and get 0% limit fees. I typically don't show exchanges, but this is legitimately a good offer because I hate limit fees. Bybit used to give you the rebate, then they started charging you a fee for a limit order. Now, there's a limited time where you can get rid of that if you're interested. Link in the description of the video. Alright, guys. Well, let's get into this little bounce that we're getting right here on Bitcoin after yesterday's dump. Now, I don't know if you guys heard the news, but it turns out that the FTX hacker is dumping Ethereum. So this article just came out 6 hours ago, and basically we've known about this for a while, but the FTX hacker has dumped 50,000 Ethereum, but is still among the top 40 ETH holders. Basically what this means is whoever hacked FTX is one of the top 40 ETH holders in the world, and they are dumping ETH like crazy right now, probably to take a profit and run. And this could have a pretty significant effect on the market cap of ETH, because if you're in the top 40 ETH holders and you're just dumping, that could really cause the price to come down. And there's a whole bunch of FUD out there, guys. The FTX thing, we know that people are calling for more regulations of cryptocurrency. My good uncle, my friend uncle, he's a friend of mine, and he's my uncle. And what a great guy. Love the guy. But, you know, we're in a very volatile time in the crypto space. We're in a very volatile time. And I do believe that this week is very important for crypto in general, as well as the other markets, because I think we're at a point of decision. After this past week, last week, of this nothingness, right? We are now, what seems to be, at a point where we need to either come back into the old range up here, right, which could be bullish, or we need to come down much lower. Now, when we go to a higher term time frame right now, like the monthly, something that we have to be aware of, and I'm actually going to go to a different chart here. I'm going to go to the Bitstamp chart, and let me actually remove everything from this chart. Few things that we have to be aware of, y'all, is when we are looking at this chunk of price action right here. This is actually Bitcoin going all the way back to 2017 bull run. Notice that the next zone of support that we have here is coming in right around this $13,800 high. And if we lose this level, which is a pretty crucial support resistance flip, right? This is a very important level. The reason why it's an important level is because this was the 2017 high on the monthly time frame candle closes. It was the retest in 2019. And then we can see that it was a little support resistance flip before the big breakout. And if we come back down and lose this level, now we're actually potentially going to be entering the range that we were trading down here, okay? Because remember, we're always looking for sideways markets to identify highs and lows. And so if we're going to come back down into this area, we could see a move down to around that $3,000 area. This is something that we need to consider if we are, one, trading Bitcoin, but number two, looking to build a position for the next bull run, right? I do believe that the more FUD and volatility that we get, the better it will be. When all hope is lost, that is when we typically tend to get that move, or at least the end or the bottom. Now, a few areas I'm personally keeping my eyes on right now on the macro is, number one, right now, the 886 fib level. Right, the 886 fib level coming in right around 11,200, give or take. I really like this level for a potential bottom here. And the reason why I like this for a potential bottom, if we get another move to the downside, is because we can see that on the monthly time frame, we have this monthly order block right here. Okay? An order block is basically where there's liquidity in the market, right? When we have a big move to the upside, as we had right here, whoop, and then all of a sudden, we see one candle that is contrary, right? That is now going to be a zone of either support or resistance on a retest. Now, in previous market cycles, this zone actually between the 786 and the 886 tends to be where we actually do bottom out. So the fact that we're down in this zone is encouraging for a potential bottom, right? This could be a potential bottom zone. Also, this zone in and of itself is acting as a very, very nice support resistance flip of the previous range, right? So if we do take a look also at, well, you know, it's interesting because from 2015 all the way up until 2018, let's see what we can get here. We can see that we found our bottom literally right in between the zone of the 786 and the 886 fib level, right? We came down after the high in 2017 or 2018, and we found the support right between these two fib levels, the 786 and the 886. Now, of course, we bottomed out here, and we even had a retest of that level, right? And of course, look at this, right? There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically 6 months, half a year of ranging, right? So there's no need to ever feel FOMO like we need to try and catch a falling knife or anything. Because typically we get time on these higher time frames if we're going to be building a position on spot, at least to accumulate at the bottom, right? Even though this was a massive percentage, right? 50% almost. That's why, you know, DCA is such a good tool in the toolbox. But here we find ourselves again in a very, very similar situation. A very, very similar situation, right? And so specifically, I really do like the retest of this wick. We can see that we had the monthly candle close there, the retest of this wick here, right in the middle of that zone. Very, very similar to what happened back here in the last bear market bottom. So that's just something to potentially keep your eyes on, y'all, for Bitcoin. Now, something else that we have to keep our eyes on is the S&P 500, right? S&P 500. Now, the S&P 500, y'all, is getting a pretty significant, right now, I would say a pretty significant, basically, move down, right? Because what happened was on the weekly time frame, last week, we came up and we came into a very, very key area of resistance. And what happens at this level, in my opinion, is going to determine what happens for crypto as well. Because this not only is the, well, the reason this green box is a green box is because it is a retest of the bottom of this range that we basically have been trading since November 2020. So it's a 2-year range, and it's the golden pocket Fibonacci retracement. It's also a 0.5 Fibonacci retracement. And it is basically a very key area now of resistance. If we are unable to come up inside this level, then I do think we'll actually put now in a lower low on the S&P 500, potentially coming down to the 3,000 to 3,200 area. And if we get this big move down here and we are rejecting, and this is the beginning of a bigger rejection, I think crypto is going to move down along with that. Now, here's something else that we need to keep in the back of our minds. It looks like the it looks like the weekly time frame. Looks like the weekly time frame here, guys, is giving us a potential bearish trigger wave here. And that could take us down even lower here, right? We could see this wave kind of cut and maybe even print a deeper momentum wave with the money flow now having curved into the red. So this is something we really need to pay attention to here. And for me, if we can come above 4,119, that now then is officially a higher high in the weekly time frame. That opens the door to more bullishness. But right now, it looks like we are getting a rejection. Last week, the weekly candle was this doji candle, which shows us indecision, and now the week has opened up. And we are getting a move down here, okay? So let's turn back to our Bitcoin chart and take a look at some of the important levels that we have locally. I'll come back over to Bybit here. Going to come down to the 12-minute time frame. All right, so locally, guys, I want to talk about this move up that we had last night. I want to talk about why we got the move up. So basically, y'all, yesterday we were looking at, I did a live stream last night, and we were looking at this area, and I was saying I was looking for a scalp from this zone. I was looking for a scalp from that zone because we were getting some bullish signs here. So yesterday in the live stream, I was looking for this. CryptoFace says we all know Billy wants to long it right now. I do, man. I do. But I want to wait and see what happens if we come back to this little box here. So basically, I was waiting to come back down into that box there. At that low, and the reason is because we were having pretty bullish BitBoy butt cheeks across multiple time frames. And what I mean by BitBoy butt cheeks is the following. So BitBoy butt cheeks are basically when we have these big green dots underneath market cipher B right here. We've got this one, we've got this one right here as well, and that is basically showing us that we are very, very high probability going to get a move to the upside. So what we were doing was we were looking for a retest after putting in this initial low right here, and if we come to our 24-minute time frame, we can see that we're actually getting the BitBoy butt cheeks on the 24-minute time frame right here, as we were putting in this lower low, giving us a bullish divergence here. Very bullish divergence. The momentum waves were getting higher as the price was getting lower. And so that's why we got this move to the upside right now. But if we zoom out a little bit, we can take a look at the larger context of the range and identify where the major key areas are. So first of all, for me, I'm looking at this whole thing as one chunk of price action right here. Right, this is one chunk of price action. And so really what I'm looking for is if we are going to hold support here, I don't want to see the price come any lower than this zone right down here, because this is where the liquidity is right now. If we're going to be able to grab a long trade from here with some bullish divergences, I want to see something like this. I want to see bullish divergences on these medium time frames like the 24-minute. And then we can look to actually take a trade from these lows here and take it to the high of this local range, okay? So for me right now, I'm basically playing a game of wait and see, right? Wait and see what happens. First of all, I am still in the long from last night. A portion of the long, I hit a TP1 on it, and my stop loss is now in profit. So it's a guaranteed winning trade. But it's a game of wait and see, right? If we come back down into this zone and we still have bullish divs, then we can kind of wait and see if we're going to get that move back, right? Because until we lose the sideways range, we should be looking for longs at the supports and then shorts at the resistances. Now, if the corn, and again, I'm going to be watching S&P 500 and stuff like that. This is right now looking bearish to me. It's not looking very strong for Bitcoin at this moment, okay? But if we get a move to the upside, it will not be bullish at all until, in my opinion, we are able to reclaim the level of 19,000. And the reason for that is because we have just broken down from a very, very massive range here. Let's take a look at the 4-hour time frame. Yeah. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, so we broke down from this. We back tested these lows as resistance, and we have this basically the retest now of the low slash point of control around 19K. And so unless we're able to actually reclaim this as support, this is very, very bearish to me, because throughout the entire move down, every time we lose one of these sideways ranges, we have a lot of follow through, right? We lost this range here and we had a 40% move to the downside. We lost this range right here, and we also did have a 36% move down. And so it just is this actually is strange, right? This is the first time we've lost the range and then consolidated after the initial breakdown. And what makes this a little bit bearish to me is the fact that we did get the retest here. But if we get a move up, let's say we get a move up today, right? I will be watching for coming up to this area to short to a lower price. Of course, there's intermediate areas above this. If you're in the VIP Discord, you know the exact levels I am looking for. By the way, if you do want to join the VIP Discord, you can go to patreon.com/Jason Casper. That's our group where we do give trade setups like this juicy long that we took a few weeks ago, as well as the juicy short, which was basically shorting the wick from right up here. This wick right here at 20,600. Pretty dang juicy. It's not a signals group, guys. It's just an education group. And but you'll learn a lot in there. We have some expert traders in there. But these are pretty much the key levels that I'm looking at for Bitcoin to the upside. This 19K zone being a very, very major zone. And then, of course, major support that has to be held is going to be this down here around the $15,000 level. These are the two major areas I'm looking at as far as like major day trades go, or even trades I would hold for a whole week. And if we lose this box down here at around 15K, the high 14s, then I am honestly, seriously going to be looking down toward these levels that we have marked on the chart, retesting these old highs that we have right here from 2019, potentially looking all the way down to that $3,000 level, right? Because we're just looking at it like this. If we're going to lose this, this opens up all this as a possibility. Let me pop into the chat quick and see what we got going on in the chat. Guys, make sure to like the video. If we can get 750 likes, we'll be giving away 500 USDT. We will absolutely be giving away some USDT. Shout out to Aaron G. Looks like my unfortunately, y'all, my streaming software is not loading the comments, which is a bummer, a huge bummer. So I'm gonna have to just read them in here. CBDCs, is that weed? No, David Patrick. CBDCs has nothing to do with weed. Well, it does. It comes from the same plant. CBDCs does come from the cannabis plant, but it doesn't contain any THC, which is the psychoactive compound within marijuana. But CBDCs, it just kind of chills you out, man. You know what I'm saying? Takes away the stress, but it doesn't get you high. So, shout out to Memory Man. Shout out to Gray T Ghost, who says 1 hour S&P 500 Blood Diamond. Let's check out that S&P 500 and then we'll discuss the potential of some other exchanges going down. So S&P 500, guys, is getting a 1 hour blood diamond on Market Cipher A. Let's go ahead and put that on here. Good old Market Cipher A, my long lost friend. Yeah, look at that, blood diamond on Market Cipher A. So this is bearish, guys. This really is bearish. I do have to say that we have come up to a key area of resistance on the S&P 500. Right, let's remove all our stuff here. Let's remove all our stuff, even the rectangle. Understanding that we are at key resistance, let's go ahead and pull a fib from the high to the low. Put on our 6 Juanita. And look at that, guys. I mean, this is very bearish looking. We've come up to key resistance, and now we're getting a rejection in between the 0.5 fib and the 6 Juanita. In addition to that, we do have the blood diamond on the 1 hour, which is bearish, man. That is bearish, and we do see these moving averages starting to now get close together and having come into key resistance, and all these moving averages are now close together. There's a good chance that they're going to start crossing, which I think is what the blood diamond indicates to us, that there's been some kind of EMA crossover. So we will have to wait and see, but this is giving me a bearish bias for Bitcoin in general. Let's check out and see actually if we have any news. I'm going to go to forexfactory.com to see if we have any news coming out this week. Right, so let's see what we got going on here. As an American, I don't care about any of these other currencies besides USD because, you know, I'm an American. We're very self-centered. We think we're the only country in the world. We interpret all world events through the lens of American politics. You know what I'm saying? Something going on in China, it all comes down to Trump versus Biden, man. That's all it's about. That's all us Americans care about or think about is ourselves. All right, so what do we have coming up? Anything interesting here? Any CPI, anything like that? Well, Wednesday, we have the FOMC